everybody, this video is about the time that I wrote a letter to my teenage self, and then something really weird happened. This is about 5 years ago, I guess, and I noticed that a lot of people were writing letters to themselves in the past. It seemed to be a thing. Usually the letters were to their teenage selves because the teen years are almost always pretty rough, and the letters are meant to be encouraging, I guess, or to offer advice, and I remembered my teenage self. He had some social issues and self-esteem issues, and there was some family stuff going on, so he could have used some encouragement from his future self. And as intrigued as I was about writing a letter to my teenage self in the past, I knew I had to be careful with it. I didn't want the letter to be very specific. There was a slight chance that my teenage self would read it, and any information that could change my past behavior would lead to incalculable, I think I'm saying that right, incalculable alterations in history, or even cause a butterfly effect. There's one thing I've learned from reading lots of science fiction. It's not to mess with time and history. If my letter caused me to change anything I did in the past, it could completely change what's going on right now. This presented me with a dilemma. I really didn't want to miss the possibility of a butterfly effect. Despite that, writing a letter to my teenage self was tempting. It'd be nice to contact my teenage self. It'd be a good writing exercise. It'd be a way to get out of my comfort zone. Writing is my comfort zone, but sending a letter through time travel, not really. Besides, the thing was, he probably wasn't going to read it anyways. Too many things would have to go right for this whole thing to work. So I put a little bit of thought into it, and after a lot of thought, maybe a couple minutes, I decided to compose a safe letter, and I was going to try sending it to my former self. And if it worked, at least the letter wouldn't cause any harm. I was pretty sure of that, and it probably wouldn't work anyway. So I wrote what I thought was a safe letter. Dear Jimmy, this is your future Jimmy about 30 years in the future. I just wanted to say hello and let you know that your future is great. Hang in there. Sincerely, your future self. I don't want to tell you what people call you now because that might influence your behavior and cause a time ripple. As far as letters to past selves go, this one seemed kind of harmless. I found an old hardcover book that I had bought when I was 9 years old. I was a book hoarder back then. I was a book hoarder for a long time. And I placed the book in a shelf that I had when I was a high school student. The shelf had belonged to my grandparents, and I got it when I was in 10th grade. I thought if I placed the note in a book I owned in high school and put the book on a shelf that I owned in high school, maybe the note would find its way to me when I was in high school. Man, I know it's kind of a stupid thing to do, but how many people really have the opportunity to communicate with their past selves? I thought it was worth a try. A few days later, I returned to the book and I found the note, and as much as I couldn't believe it, there was a handwritten response at the bottom. It was in my handwriting, too. Wow! I was shocked that it had written back to me. I hardly ever write back to anyone. I mean, even now, I rarely even respond to emails or texts. But then I thought about the implications. I checked my memory, my career. It pays all right, but it's not that satisfying. It was the same. I clearly recalled everything about my wife and daughter. I was pretty sure nothing had changed in my life because of the letter. Then again, if something had changed, I probably wouldn't have been able to tell. All right, anyways, I convinced myself that everything was stable. So I read my teenage response, and here it was. Dear whatever your name is now, you risked causing a time ripple for that? Next time, tell me something I can use. And it's your future, not you are future. I guess I suck at grammar 30 years from now. And have you gotten any letters from your future self? I hope you are future self writes better letters than mine. Sincerely, Jimmy. I folded the note and put it back inside the book. I guess I was a prick 30 years ago, I thought. Maybe I deserved to have self-esteem issues. And then I realized I've never received a letter from my future self. That's the problem when you write a letter to your past self. Your past self at least knows he or she will be alive in the future, but if you never receive a letter from your future self, then, oh no, oh no, oh no! I began flipping through every single book that I owned. After all, If my future self sent me a letter, I would have no idea which book he would slip it inside of. And my future self, if I have one, would know to write me a letter because he would know how worried I am about having no future self. Every day now, I flip through every single book I own, hoping to find a note from my future self. I'm thinking of selling off all my books except one. I haven't decided which one that would be yet, so that my future self would know exactly which book to put his note in, and it would save me a lot of time every day. If I had never sent that stupid letter to my smart-ass teenage self, I wouldn't be in this situation now. If I had to do it all over again, I'd never write that letter to my past self. And if I wrote it, I'd never send it. It really bugs me that I might not have a future self, especially since I don't know when my future self stops existing. I wonder if there are alternate universes where I'm thinking about sending a note to my past self. And if there are, I'm going to write letters to my alternate selves and tell them not to do it. Those teenage selves probably won't appreciate it anyways. So, future self, if you're out there reading old stuff that you and I wrote and you're laughing at it, could you please let me know that you and I are okay? I'd feel much more secure. Please? Hello? 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 This is my blog, Dysfunctional Literacy. I have a bunch of my original writing plus book reviews and commentary here on this blog. If you enjoyed this story or whatever it is, check out the blog for more and search my channel because I'm adding stuff all the time. Remember to like and subscribe. Likes help out a lot. And thanks for watching.